We live now.
Okay.
All right. So
All right. So
you might want to mute your mic. You got a lot of
you
feedback.
might want to mute your mic. You got a lot of
Franchise.
feedback.
Got you. Got you.
For a second. All
Got
right.
you.
So I don't think I
All
got
right.
nobody
So
on here yet.
I ain't got. I don't think I
But
got
anyway,
nobody on here yet. But anyway,
let me say this, guys.
let me see this,
First
guys.
off, I want to come
First
on
off,
here
I
and
want to come on
introduce
here
yourself to
and introduce myself.
I'm getting feedback from you.
I'm getting feedback from you.
From me?
Yeah, you got an echo like you got it on the
You got an echo
Bluetooth in
like
the
you
car
got
or
on
something.
Bluetooth in the car.
Or you got on headphones or
Okay, I'm
something.
gonna take it off.
You got on
Then.
headphones or something.
Yeah, I got on headphones.
Okay. Let me say this, man. Number one, I'm about to introduce a homeboy of mine. I played ball with him. Had the opportunity to meet this brother at Tuskegee. We got a ministry background. Apart from that, he's a 7-foot brother. We played ball together. He would catch hell with little small, quick, quirky guards, but most big men do. You know what I'm saying? He's very, but of course you're not gonna play that in the higher level. So on the lower level, you play these little quick, quirky guards. But when he played against another big, he gonna do his thing. Actually was supposed to be in the NBA. God rest his soul. Our coach, Ben Job. If you ever seen the documentary Black Magic on ESPN about all the HBCU basketball teams and the black coaching and stuff, he was directly taught by James Naismith himself. And we're one of his players. Hey, Reigning Wound Man, Civil Living. Anyway, Job messed him up, man. He's supposed to be in the NBA, man. I think it was it Denver Nuggets or either that or the Philadelphia 76ers. Two teams was looking at him. So this brother, you know, is 7 feet. He has a son now, so I guess he gonna teach his son how to play the game and get in here and do his thing with basketball as well. I'm the goddaddy, so you know, I'm gonna make sure that he, you know, if he round me, I'm gonna damn sure make sure he's straight. Anyway, but it ain't about basketball. We rather they go to medical school or some shit, right? Right, franchise. It ain't about basketball. It ain't about sports like it was when I was younger. You know, you there?
I am.
So that's the thing, guys. Is you know, sports is not the thing that it used to be to us when we were kids. So I don't look at it. I remember when I was a kid, I was, oh yeah, my son gonna do this, my son gonna do that. He gonna play ball. He gonna play this. And now I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? But that's not why we're here today. We're here to speak to the issues in the black community of the family and how we all understand that the family is pretty much what fixes a lot of the issues that's going on. They saying what's up to you, franchise.
Hey, how y'all doing? Nice to meet everyone.
Hey, what's up? Arrow Black TV. But let me say this before we start going. The black, first of all, we all understand the family is the structure of the community. Without a strong family unit, you can't have shit. You can't move shit. You can't do shit without a strong family unit. You got to have a strong family. That fixes 90% of your problems. When you got a family, you can have better businesses. You have a family, your children are better. Every statistical study shows that children that come up in 2-parent households are, you know, able to, you know, get up and do and outperform other kids in every area. You talk about economics. We have a 2 income. We're gonna get into that in a second. We have more than one income in the house. It's a lot easier. It's less stressful. One parent can do something while the other parent can do something. Just a lot when it comes to the family structure. Now, you guys know I have a ministry background, so don't come in the comment section trying to get into no damn comedic science debates. I ain't got time for it. Okay, this ain't what we talking about. All right, y'all know what I'm about. Y'all know my channel. Y'all know I'm a believer in Christ. That's my ilk. That's my homeboy's ilk. So that's what this is about. Okay. Now I'm gonna probably piss some of the women off. Hey, we just talking. You know what I'm saying? Some women are gonna look at me like, nigga, is you out your mind? What I'm about to say. But I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna let him start it. I'm just gonna introduce him. Like I said, so my homeboy, 7 foot, by the name of we call him franchise. played at Tuskegee with me. We played together, played for the legendary coach Ben Jobe, who was the black coach that when Southern beat Georgia Tech in the NCAA tournament. I think they went to the Sweet 16, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even know.
They did.
They went to the Sweet 16. A black college, the only black college to ever do that was Ben Jobe. That was our coach. That was Bobby Fields and Avery Johnson. But and a couple other dogs was on that team too. But the point I'm trying to make is, guys, you're in for a treat. Don't take it personal what you're about to hear. So we just talked about, I just outlined the issues in the family and what's going on with the family, how the family is in shambles and turmoil. And I look at the federal government, and I look at taxes as being illegal. I look at other things being illegal, and we're going to get into why. So go ahead, Lundy.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. This is a touchy subject for a lot of people. Me being a believer initially, and when I say believer, I do believe in Yeshua, Jesus Christ to some. Correct pronunciation is Yeshua. No, I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I just believe in the teachings of Christ wholeheartedly. And I'm open to change. And initially, when this subject was brought to me, like any other person that believes in Christ, that goes to church, I was like, man, you're crazy. But there's a scripture in the Bible. Unfortunately, I don't know the exact location. Maybe Sub, you can help me out. But the scripture says, few studies the word like the Bereans, being a workman, rightly dividing the word of God, studying to show thyself approved. And so I'm a big believer in that. I don't believe that somebody should get up and tell you something and you believe it just because they say they Pastor Deacon John, or, that's neither here nor there. You have to study for yourself. I can tell you that there's $1 million around the corner. If you don't go see, you'll never know. So with that being said, a few years ago, someone brought to me the subject of a man having multiple wives being Christian. And I said, man, you out your mind. You absolutely out your mind. But I picked up the scripture and I started reading for myself and came to the conclusion that that brother was correct. We don't want to accept it within the black community, or should I say the church community, not specifically black, but it solves so many problems that consist within our culture, in our society. And I know a lot of women gonna say, well, you crazy.
Hold on, Frank, before we go there, I wanted to try to touch on why the government, before we even get into that, just talk about the government and how they have set certain things up to keep citizens easily controlled. And what's up to everybody? I see y'all speaking. Carmen Misfit, I
disagree. That's what I was reading.
Yeah, I disagree with that, but I mean, it's whatever. This is just YouTube. It's entertainment. But hey, try to go into, if you can, what the government has done, not just in family, but just with taxes, with all that stuff, because we're going to kind of bring it so you can understand what's going on and how you're being subjugated in a lot of things. It's like the Matrix. If you watch, that's why I think that was one of the best scenes in cinema history, was when Morpheus met Neo. In the speech that Morpheus gave Neo, when Morpheus told him, "You are a slave to your mind," and and all this is different stuff, and everybody likes to use that. But go ahead for a second.
Well, when it comes to the correct term that I'm referring to is polygyny, a man having more than one wife. When it comes to that, it builds the foundation of wealth, structure, so many things within the black community that we're missing out on. For an example, just financially wise, and maybe Sub, you can interject on this one. If a man has more than one wife, the structure that it builds allows him to have multiple children, a larger family, allows him to have business, people to do the jobs that most people are rejecting, because he has the ability to, because he has, what's the word I'm looking for, sir?
I guess I think what you're getting at, and this is from my personal understanding of it, I think that when you allow a man and woman to come together in that union in that way, what I think transpires is that woman has a better quality of life, and the man does too. I know you're probably like, what are you talking about? If you want to go to medical school, you can go to medical school. If you want to be in the gym 4-5 days a week, you can do that, because there is division of labor. That's number one. Number two, you gotta. I think people have to understand is those good brothers that get wifed up real quick. That's it. He's out of the market for anybody. And I know you're like, well, damn, what do you mean? It's a lot of sisters out here. It's good brothers that are high producing brothers that I wouldn't mind seeing with that, because if Robert F. Smith was allowed to be in that situation, or if Byron Allen was in that situation, not just these guys, but other guys, not just the LeBron James or whatever, but a guy who has that type of producing, a guy who can produce like that, will then be able to come into the community and really make an effective change. And I think the reason, and this is what I was trying to allude to earlier, the reason the government stops this is because this is not what they want. Guys, let me tell you something. You get a guy with 3 or maybe 4. I would cut it off at 4. I ain't trying to get ridiculous with it. 3 to 4. Do you understand what you could do? Like, you could literally formulate your own army of people and start any type of thing that you want to do. It wouldn't be, guys, go in the Bible. It talks about Tower of Babel, chapter 11 of Genesis. It talks about, let us go down and break them up, because if they put their minds together, ain't nothing they can't do. This is why when people say fuck family, that's dangerous. I believe the family is very important. You may not want to, because we have a society, and this is what I was talking about how to fix the family. That's why this video is called How to Solve the Black Family's Problem. Is because the first thing I look at is a man, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of disagreement. Cool, but I'm not saying that it's gonna be easy to get any woman in America, raised in America, to get on board with this. Okay, I don't believe that one. It's gonna be hard to get. But the point I'm trying to make, the point I was trying to make about it was that a lot of the stuff, a lot of the issues that you have going on in the community with women who are single, who and the quality men, they're good brothers that get married and they have wives. All their brothers that don't want to get married because they like, man, if I marry this female here, I'm out the game forever. And I know that sounds real selfish, but a lot of brothers are not getting married. I talk about this shit all the time where brothers don't want to get married because they looking at it like, man, I like this girl, but I'm X years old. I don't know if you wouldn't think like that if you were thinking that, okay, this is my principal wife, this, that. And I know people, this is going to sound real bad to some of the sisters, but you got to understand that, just hear us out. I'm not saying you're going to believe it. You ain't got to believe it, because I know most of y'all ain't going to believe it or agree with me. But just think about it in all the issues that you face, because you're doing it already, guys, female. Women, a lot of y'all have a guy that you messing with. Oh, dang, Lenny done dropped off. A lot of y'all have a guy that y'all messing with that you think is the guy that you're supposed to be with, that you want to be with. And this guy, you know he got other women, right? He's not only has he got other women, like he might be married. You got guys that are married.
It's happening in society anyway, within the black culture. Let's be blunt. And I read a comment where a brother said, stop worrying about things and just speak. Let's be blunt about it.
That was a sister. That was Rainy Womb, man. Shout out to her.
It's happening in the society.
Hey, they saying your background noise is bad, French.
I do apologize. It's happening in our culture anyway. How many black women out here right now know a man got 4-5 women, but they still Why? Either because he a big dope boy, or he got some money, and they tolerating it. How many men out here got kids by 3 or 4 different women? Women fighting, not getting along because that's my baby daddy. No, that's my baby daddy. How many brothers on child support that's struggling to make it, that's actually taking care of their kids because they got kids and the women need money?
Hold on, franchise. The brother Dante S is thinking from. I understand where we are today, and there would be friction, but this never gets talked about. So we're talking about something that we never talk about. And if you come up in a society where it's talked about and it's actually out there in the open, then what people were willing to accept. Now, like right now, think about it. When we was kids, homosexuals were gay. Gay people were considered crazy when we were children. Now, gay people. You got the president putting the White House in gay colors. And I'm not trying to make this like, I'm just saying that I think that, go ahead, franchise, keep talking. I just wanted to put that out there. Go ahead.
I mean, this is happening anyway within the hip hop culture in the black community. I mean, brothers running around here talking about I'm a pimp and I'm a player, and they juggling 4, 5 women. Wouldn't it be easier for that brother to come forward and deal with the women that he want to deal with and accept it and say, okay, this brother want more than one woman. Either I can tolerate it or I can't. That was not for every man. It's for a man, because no, I'm not talking about a brother being a pimp or just got women and not handling his responsibility. Along with this comes a lot of responsibility, meaning that a brother understands that as a man, as a husband, guess what? I am responsible for providing, protecting, and taking care of this woman and the kids wholeheartedly. That is his responsibility. That means the brother paying rent, he putting food on the table, he paying all the bills, he's doing what he's supposed to do. And when you have that, you now have a male figure within the household, because the biggest problem within the black community, and I've said this on other lives that we've had, it starts within the household, one family. It starts within the first house, and then it protrudes outward, because lack of men in the household is the number one issue. Why? Because there's no structure, there's no discipline, there's no guidelines, and that is what a man brings to the table, regardless to how we're portrayed or how we're viewed. This is fact. And when you have a man now in the household, isn't it easier if that man, he has 4 kids by 3 different women? Instead of him dividing up his paycheck or his earnings,
let me help you just a little bit. I do think that this is why you have kids who the father's never around. And what happens is our community gets shitted on, because we have to deal with a child whose mom isn't there. He's raised by the television, so he thinks manhood is about hyper masculine bravado that he has to come. He's an antagonist, so he's robbing, he's selling drugs, he's wearing his pants off his ass, because he doesn't know what it is to be a man, because he's never seen it modeled. And so I think this will force what brothers is doing already. It actually adds some accountability. I just think women need to just kind of own up to that and say, it will make these brothers be accountable. If you got to say, all right, wait a minute, let's come out of the shadows with it. You can't be sneaking and having sex in a hotel room when nobody ain't around. And then you hit her every couple of weeks, and then you back to your house and you send her. And you're not
taking care of your responsibility. That woman, and really, let's be whole honest about it. Let's be completely honest. Some of these women that's doing these behaviors are doing them because, guess what? I got kids and I need my bills paid. They dealing with these dope boys because, hey, he gonna help pay the bills, some form of fashion. Maybe he might not pay all the bills, but maybe he'll help with the light bill. And it's turning our sisters into women that they know in their own hearts and in their own minds that they should not be. They know they shouldn't be doing some of the things they doing. And granted, I'm not blaming women. Please don't take it that way. I blame us as men because it starts with us as being leaders.
This sister Taisha Cobbs is going hard at us, brother. She's saying it doesn't. I knew this was gonna happen though. But I knew it. But anyway, she said it doesn't solve problems with lack of integrity. I think having somebody out in the open and saying this is your wife is gonna probably help. If I got 3 wives, I might be a freak. I might be this and that. That's a lot of fucking. If I'm gonna have 3 wives at home and I'm out there in the streets trying to fuck any and every chick I see. No, a lot of this shit will probably help a lot of dudes.
Yes, because
the older a man gets, he ain't got that type of sex drive anyway. Let's just go ahead and get that out there. Once you get roughly 30 years old, you ain't got that much fucking in you to be out here fucking. You got to keep 3 women happy. Plus, you got to be out in the street. No, I think that
I'm more amped as a man to say I got 2 women at home. That I'm more amped to, you know what? I'm finna go to work, come home. I got all the pussy I need at home. Let's be honest, fellas. Fellas know this ain't no game. Cause that's why you hear this stupid statement. Side chicks are winning. No, they not. They losing.
Nope. Especially if you got a child. You're not winning. You got a child who's guys, both parents not being in the house is harming that child. That's just the bottom line. Let me finish reading her statement because people typing away. She said, now you would have to put your trust in multiple people. All it is for one person is to step out, and it's you spreading. It's a breeding ground for the spread of STDs. Well, I mean, shit, that's what's happening with black women anyway that's married to me and that's out here going.
I mean, in the marriage anyway, but the only difference is people are lying about it.
Yeah, you coming with peripheral stuff instead of getting away from what I'm talking about, saving the family and the community.
People from stepping out and lying because they got what they need at home. They all, for men at least.
And then she said bisexual women would be the best setup for this. I ain't say nothing about bringing 2 or 3 women.
About nothing about homosexuality. I said 2 wives.
Yeah. I ain't say
now, we're not talking about homosexuality. That does not consist in this model that that we are referring to. That means that it's a man and a woman. They're not in the same bed with the second wife. That means the wife has each wife has their own room. The husband has their own room. Let's break this down financially real quick.
No. That's what Simple Living was just saying. She said, so all the wives and children under one roof. That's exactly what we're talking about. First of all, it's going to make me as a man be able if you're motivated as a man to do that, then you're going to have to get off your ass if that's what you want. Now, if you want 1 wife and 1 family, fine. But if you want 2, 3, you're going to have to be able to go out and get a house of a certain size. Of course, all these women can have jobs if they want to on the side, but it ain't like she got to work. She doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Because you did what the fuck you supposed to do as a man. That's how shit used to be.
It's bingo. Now listen to this.
We're getting rid of gender roles. You don't understand what it really means. You see that when you see a guy with 3 wives. You see a guy with 1 and the wife working, they splitting the bills. You don't really understand that from that backdrop.
Hey. Let me interject this. What we right now, because a lot of people looking at this, I'm talking about from Christian views. It's already happening, people, whether you want to accept this or not, within the conscious community. A great example of this already that is doing very successful, and part of his biggest success comes from he has multiple wives, and that is Brother Polite. It's just a given. Guys, let's break this down financially. If you got one man, and I'm gonna go on the very low totem pole so people can grab the financial gain from this. If you have one man that says, I make $50,000 a year. You have a woman that says, I make, let's say, and I'm not trying to say that the woman makes less. I'm just going to break it down for commonality's sake. A woman that says, I make $30,000 a year. And you have another woman that makes $25,000 a year. That's $105,000 a year in one household. Not only that, it allows the woman that has children not to have to worry. It takes away daycare. Because guess what? One woman can say, hey, I watch the kids. You go to work. I got this. Or you can go to school. It solves so many problems. That's $105,000. Whereas if their brother had kids by both women, one woman living in another house, another woman living in another house, that little money that they making now, you paying 3 different rents. The man over here. Well,
thank you, Neon, because Neon, what's his name, keeps talking. Taisha going straight to what y'all doing in the bedroom. And thank you, Neon. She said, I don't think that means everybody is going to have sex at the same time doing some freaky shit like that. Go ahead, bro.
No, that's not what that's it. See that you're looking at the negative side or what could possibly happen. That's where it comes in for the man to be the leader. Where I said he's teaching, he's training, he's providing, he's protecting. Hey, I understand that this is a window for us, but guess what? We're not going to pursue that because guess what? Christ is still the model, and homosexuality is not within Christ's model. So guess what, women? I understand that you have these desires, or maybe you might not, or it might cross my mind, but we're not going there.
I mean, but let me say this. The thing is, this is going to be laughable if you have been in a society where the last 300-400 years they've been telling you that this is how it should be. It's laughable for a man. It's laughable to some men right now for me to say a man should pay the bills in the house.
Right.
Why? Because you got women out here raising little boys telling them that women and men are equal. It's laughable. It's going to get to a point in our society where if a burglar breaks in the house, the man is going to expect the woman to get up and go fight the burglar out. Right now, that's laughable, but keep going. That's where we're headed. So what I'm talking about actually benefits you. But you looking at, well, he get to have his cake and eat it too. Not really. You think that's what that is. It's work. It is work. That's what we're talking about. Now, of course, this ain't going to be popular. This ain't for everybody.
But when you logically sit down and think about it, it is a benefit. Now, Taisha just said something about a man has to divide his time between 3 or 4 women. Guess what, Taisha? He's doing that anyway. And the worst part about it is he's lying to divide his time because he's lying and cheating. How many successful men right now got women all over the country? One man from New York that makes $200,000 gets on the plane. He flies over to L.A. and he got a woman.
You know, plenty of dudes play in the NBA.
They had
a ticket every town.
That's what. Listen, I played ball slightly overseas, and the little money I had, and I played in the USBL and the CBA at one point. Listen, let me tell you something. It's so easy to play the game. Have I always been a good person? Have I always done what? No, I have not. And you know what? The tiring part of it was having to lie. Oh, baby, I'm going out of town. We got a game. Ain't no game. I'm just going out of town to see the other woman. It's a struggle. And then you wasting money because you dividing money over here. You sending money over here because I'm a man.
Well, hold on. Let me say that this brother, I think Fricks, I don't know if it's a woman or girl stand. This doesn't meet the woman or children's needs. This is a masculine argument. Let me say this right here. First of all, the children, a son being raised by a single mom and don't never see his dad is not meeting the needs either. So I to sit and say I'd rather have a child have a man who is his biological father in the house with him. You're being around your biological father every day and seeing your dad every day is a benefit. So it meets the children's needs. Now the woman's needs, let me explain something to you. Let me
break this down, people. Fritz, I think that's how you pronounce that. Let me ask you this. First off, are you a believer in Christ? That's my first question to you.
Probably not. Go ahead.
But if you are, let's break this down. The fathers of this faith that we believe in, not all, but the majority of them had multiple wives. Whether you want to believe this or not, Abraham had more than one wife. Isaac had more than one wife. David had more than one wife. Solomon had more than one wife. Moses had more than one wife. I mean, Jesus come through the bloodline of a polygamous relationship. We can keep going down, and this is historically and biblically proven. And to validate my point, because most people overlook the scripture, but they run from it, is when David was messing with Bathsheba, and Nathan came to him speaking what God asked him to speak to David to give him the consequences of his actions, Nathan says to David in the scriptures that David, if it was more wise that you wanted, I would have given that to you. So, guys, in Deuteronomy 21:17, the scripture says if a man has more than one wife, loves one, hates the other, I mean, it gives clear direction on how he's to conduct himself and how he's to deal with that woman and the child. Guys, throughout history and throughout society and nature, when you look at polygamy, it is everywhere. Right now, everybody's talking about one man, one wife. Okay, it's physically impossible because on this earth there's 7 billion people. And last that I checked, 1.7 billion or 1.6 billion were men. The rest are women. So if every man, which is 1.7, chose to take a wife, guys, what happens to the rest of the women? You just got like 3.5 billion or 4.5 billion women out here with no possibility of ever having a wife that's walking around virgins? No, not gonna happen. So when you look at nature, look at a lion. Look at the lion. It's one male in the pride and might be 30 women. And guess what? He runs that whole pride. And that's what they call it, a pride. So guys, when you look at this, it's only beneficial. Just go down the line, guys, and just really think about how much it keeps out the deceit, the lies. A woman would much rather, and I think a woman with integrity, a woman of Proverbs 31, she would much rather her husband sit her down and tell her, hey, I'm kind of interested in another person, and I'd like you to meet her. Wouldn't it be much more better?
Now the ratio I saw is a little. I just looked it up. It's a little. It's not that ratio, but it's over 50% women, but it's not like 1 to 8. Like it's not that high. But even still, I mean, I get what you're saying. I just, like I said, I'm just trying to be straight up. This is the thing, man.
And that was a few years ago.
Okay, but let me say this, guys. What I want y'all to understand, we just talking out loud, thinking out loud. Everybody ain't gonna think like this. Everybody, we know we in America. We grew up in the same country y'all did. We know if we do a flat Earth video, we came up in school with the same globe you did, same 9 planets, now 8. But I'm just saying, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we just talking. You know what I'm saying? He said not most black men aren't emotionally and intellectually mature enough to do this. Agreed, because we don't have a culture where we teach that.
And number one,
and the family's been destroyed. The family's been broke down. So yeah, right now, thinking out loud, that would actually be difficult to implement. It's just like right now when Fantasia went to the Breakfast Club and talked about submissiveness, she got a backlash. There were some women who were mature enough to see what Fantasia was coming from and respected it and respected her for that. But there were a lot of women who, oh hell no, I ain't submitting to no man. So yeah, you don't have to.
Let's say this, Sub, and this is fact. Any woman that feels that she can do the exact same thing that a man can do, she ain't in her right mind of thinking. Bottom line. And any man that feel like he can do what a woman can do, he ain't in his right mind of thinking. Because let me tell you something. I just had my first son, and you know what I say? I say this every day. It is utterly amazing that how much work a woman puts into a child. It is incredible. There is no way I possibly can understand or even begin to have the patience that a woman has to have to deal with the child every day. Do I deal with my son every day? Yes. Sometimes I get a little frustrated. And guess what? I never see his mother get that way. She does it with instinct. She just does it. And for a woman to sit out here and tell me that she can get out here right now and lift 500 pounds or 400 pounds every day, all day for 8 hours consistently, You have some
Yeah,
that
let me
can
say this.
do it.
Taisha, you looking at America today, and we're talking about some really right now that's just conjecture, because that is not our society. We've not lived like this for hundreds of years. So you say you couldn't stomach it. That's like saying back in the days, today people go to war and they have trauma from going to war and shit like that. But thousands of years, men been going in villages from the time they were children, fighting and killing and doing whatever. It was normal back in the day. So and then another thing you got to look at, guys, today in society, in this economy where we are today, this shit sounds like craziness. But go back 500 or 1,000 years where a man could come and knock you across your head and take your ass and drag you in the cave and rape you, unless you had a big strong man to defend you and protect you. Then this would make sense. So I'm not saying, well, we're not there anymore, so we don't. Okay, we've evolved past that. Okay, fine. But we've thrown the baby out with the bathwater, because a lot of the stuff we have right now is fragmented. When you got 76, 77% of our kids born out of wedlock, and that doesn't mean that the father isn't in the home in many of those situations, but still, they're not married. A lot of men aren't getting married. People don't want to get married because they thinking it's for life with this one person. And if I give you an iPod and I put one song on that iPod, and it could be your favorite song in the world, and you play that song every day for 5 years straight, at the end of 5 years, that song is not going to be your favorite song. You know what I'm saying? It's not. And I'm not saying that's what marriage is. That's a bad analogy, but I'm just saying.
Not only that, she said she couldn't stomach it. Another woman standing there kissing her husband. Well, let's look at it from this perspective. Just 200 years ago, a man could walk up and snatch you from in front of your husband, take you into a shed, have sex with you, and take you back to your husband. You get pregnant, and then come and take your child from you and sell it.
Yeah.
But we can stomach that. We couldn't. You couldn't picture stomaching that today, but 200 years ago, that's how it was. Because we
got women right now getting their children's brains sucked out, and they stomach that shit just fine. Society stomachs it just fine. Babies, literally in the womb up to 10 months. I mean, up to 9 months. Fully developed human beings, and you suck their brains out, pull a whole baby out the stomach, and people know about that shit, and they cool with it. Which one is more heinous? So I mean, society is what we agree on. Now I have a certain standard that is not with society. That's why I'm on here. It ain't got nothing to do with what society says it is. I have a certain writ that I follow, certain belief system. That's what we're talking about, a belief system. And when we talk about what society has today, there's a lot of things in society. We got grown men going in bathrooms with little girls. We stomach that. We got people coming in schools. We got somebody that's taking kids and forcing them to be women, and we stomach that just fine. I would rather you stomach a man who has committed to you to take care of you, provide for you, love and honor and cherish you in the same house, instead of with another woman. He might have one in there that he's doing the same thing with her, but at the same time, I'd rather have that than what we see going on right now.
Not only that, but let's look at it from the real perspective. It's going on anyway. You'd rather it be done behind your back, behind closed doors, not knowing who he's sleeping with, than that man come home with the woman and say, now there's a process to this, guys. There's some structure with the way this is going. I'm not going in depth. What I am saying is it is something that needs to be brought to the table and talked about, because guess what? It's happening anyway, guys. It is happening anyway. R. Kelly's in the boat that he's in right now because he practiced polygamy, and everybody else, to a degree, he did, because those weren't his wives. He didn't take them and say, hey, you my wife, and I'm gonna provide for you. And honestly, he was doing it with
and them women willingly came to. I don't feel too sorry for the R. Kelly.
Because why? A lot of these women that dealt with R. Kelly, they wanted the benefits that R. Kelly could bring. Mm-hmm. R. Kelly's a millionaire. He had fame. He can take care of me. And if I had a kid, it wouldn't be a problem. I'm not talking for every man. If you're not a man that can't provide for a woman and don't want to take care of a woman, then no, this ain't for you. Because guess what? In a polygamous relationship, or the correct term would be polygyny, not polygamy. Let's break this all the way down, guys. You wouldn't have Section 8. Wouldn't be no need for Section 8 because guess what? You got $105,000 a year coming within the household if all three of y'all worked and just had bare minimum jobs. You mean to tell me that you couldn't go out and get a $200,000 or $300,000 house and pay the mortgage and still have money left over if you manage yourself right? And you would have clothes for the kids. You wouldn't need Section 8. You wouldn't need food stamps. You wouldn't need none of that because guess what? All that is being provided. But it comes from a man that has the ability to be an earner, to be a provider, to be a protector. Nobody wants to be alone.
I mean, Rain and Woman. Look, guys. This is something that is going.
I'm not saying be alone with polite. That's not what I'm saying.
No. Let me get the point out. I'm gonna say this right here. You got to look at it too, guys. Let's think about this for a second. Let me think of a guy that a lot of women want. Boris Kojo. Right, he's just my easy analogy. If Boris Kojo can have 2 more women, it's a lot of black women that'll be like, I'll be that second. I know they will. If Maxwell or some heartthrob guy that a lot of women want, if he did this, a lot of women would say no, but a whole lot of women would say yes. A whole lot. So, and what'll happen is if you don't want it, you don't do it. But what'll happen is if it's normal in society, you won't look at it that way.
Because when you go outside this country, guys, there's polygamous countries all over the world. Africa, Europe, the Muslims practice polygamy. How is it that they're able to do it, but we shun it? Why? Because that's the norm. That's what we've been taught. That's wrong. And we look at them like they crazy when they looking at us like y'all crazy. Guys, this has been practiced throughout history, throughout society, hundreds and thousands of years, people. Why is it being rejected? Why? Because number one, the education says that I'm selfish. I come first. This is what the
government don't want. If the government does not want a black community producing like that, they don't want that shit. They don't want that. We would outproduce their ass. They don't want that shit. Do you really want to start letting, much as black folks fuck, do you really want to start letting us get in the same? Like, do you really want to do that? Because we would be popping our babies. Like, you have families of 30, 40 kids, man. People don't want to do that.
Let's break this down. I'm finna break this down and show you something. Let's take a man with 2 wives, just one man with 2 wives, or better yet, 3 wives. He has 4 kids by each wife. That's 12 kids. Out those 12 kids, realistically, you got a 50% chance that you're going to have 6 boys, 6 girls. You got 6 boys that by the time they get 18, 19, 20, by the time those boys are 25, they all go do the same thing and get 2 to 3 wives, and they repeat the number. By the time that a man gets 60 years old, and let's say he starts, let's go with a construction company. Let's use a construction company. What labor? Why does he have to go hire anybody? Because he's got everybody. Not only that, he's taught every one of those boys, even the grandchildren, the trade of construction. Whether it's building a house, framing a house, putting windows in, laying sheetrock, they understand that. He doesn't have to go out and
It ain't nothing he got to pay for. That
he ain't gonna pay for labor.
All he got to do is pay for materials. Yeah.
All you got to do is go get materials. And guess what? Now, all that money, rather than that money going to somebody else or outside of the community, that money stays within. And those kids are now staying at home, or he has a plot of land that those boys come back and say, you know what? Hey, Dad, I'm going to be, can I have that land over there? Because the land's already paid for. He builds a house. Now he has kids. Before you realize it, by the time that man gets 60 years old, he has probably anywhere between 30 to 40 kids, grandchildren.
Oh, Simple Living clowning me. Somebody, you were reaching and your arms are too short. Go ahead.
But,
man.
but this is just an example, guys. Not saying that it would actually happen, because it takes a well-educated man and a well-skilled man and a well-learned man to be able to do that. Not only that, but if you have that type of man, guess what? He's passed that trait down and that ability down to each individual child within his family. This is how you conduct yourself as a man, because more is caught than taught. And I don't care what nobody tell me. A child is going to be admirer of what they see. Because guess what? That's what we do now today. That's why people run around talking about, oh, I got to have the latest Jordans. I got to have the Balenciagos and all this other crap. That's why people running around here right now spending $400 on a leather belt that cost them folks $1 to make.
Ferragamo, yeah.
$1 to make a belt that they selling for $400. But people rushing to the store to buy that. People out here buying $400 bags and all these other things. Why? Because they're admirer of what they see.
Yeah.
People out here smoking weed. Why? Because when I was coming up, smoking weed wasn't popular. You remember when the Chronic came out, if you're over the age of 35?
Dude, before the Chronic came out, weed was not looked at like that. Weed,
right.
He popular. In fact, NWA had a song called Express Yourself, where he talked about not smoking weed. If you really want to go into it, you know what I'm saying? Then it became popular. Just like it was a time where everybody, it was better to have a Jerry curl than have a good over-processed curl like Michael Jackson. Then everybody became a thug. You know, it is what it is. Let me read some of these comments. It says, I would imagine that every polygamous dynamic is tailored to the needs of those involved. Every dynamic can't possibly be the same. Come on, people. Good point, Leon. Good point. I'm gonna tell you something. You've seen it. I've seen people, me coming up in the church. I've seen older women. There was a video Derek Jackson did a response video to. And Derek Jackson did a response video because an older woman was saying, look, don't deny your husband sex. If your husband wants to have sex, don't deny it to him, right? So Derek Jackson did a video. There's nothing wrong with denying your husband sex. What if you got a headache? What if you this? He should be understanding that. And I'm like, see that? That's a dynamic of a woman who understands from a worldview that they have different worldviews. So everybody this ain't for everybody, because everybody ain't gonna think like that. You got women, Jezebel probably would have felt like she needed two husbands. But you know, that's matriarchy. So if you want a matriarchal system, then yeah, go by all means, go do that. But if you understand building a society and a community and what men are, which are builders, if you believe men are builders, you wouldn't think like that.
I can show you right now where a majority of the women that deny polygamous relationships would stand enjoyment for a polygamous relationship. If you get rid of electricity just by itself today, just electricity, women would love to have a man in their household.
Well, yeah, shit. Somebody go cut some wood. How you gonna keep warm?
Bingo.
It's cold. Your ass gonna need a man that day. You're gonna need to cut wood. How we gonna eat?
Important to you then. Yeah, you can do it.
You ain't got no refrigerator, so you're gonna need some salt. You're gonna need to preserve that meat. You're gonna need so shit. Who do I get? Who knows how to do that?
Because you ain't able to sit up with your kids and do all that and raise your kids. You're not going to be able to do it. That's where the man comes in. And the fact that technology has come in has taken the power away from the man, and men need to be men again. See, all this leads up with the key thing to polygamous relationship is manhood. We ain't talking about every man, because a man has to sit down and be a man.
Hold on. Franchise Dante said, in order for this to work, the man can't make $50,000. No need to make $150,000 and up. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Me either.
Because I'll be like, okay, if you make $150,000, that means your ass got to make it then. So what you gonna do to get out there and get it? Because a lot of dudes, one thing that motivates black men is sex. Look at Lil Fizz. You know what I'm saying? we'll give up, we'll sacrifice everything for some sex. So if you feel like, okay, I can get 3 wives if I do this, okay, I'm gonna go out here and go to medical school. I'm gonna do whatever I got to do to be able to make sure I can make that kind of money.
Right. Because that's what's going to motivate them. Think back, fellas. Any man that's on this live right now, just think back when you were 16 years old and you first started thinking about some booty. Guess what you did? Whatever it took to get that booty. So guess what? If at a young age, at 16 years old, you seeing, I could have a woman like Gabrielle Union. I could have a woman, I hate to say an example like this, but I could have a woman like Cardi B and Gabrielle Union. Ugh. All at the same time. All I got to do is go out and make money and provide for them. Guess what you gonna do? You're more amped to go educate yourself so that you can become a top earner. Because if somebody had told me this at 16 years old, I'd have been in medical school by the time I was 20.
So,
bottom line,
Rainy Woman, let the polite example go. They've been riding on this polite example for a minute. Brother Polite was just somebody he pulled out of example as an example. Okay, but if a guy treated you, we just never seen it modeled out in front of us, so we don't know. We've never seen it modeled out.
The woman this. Let me ask her this. You think those 3 women that Polite's married to, that he claims to be his wife, you think they there for no reason? No, they're there for a reason. There's an agreement there between that man and those 3 women. Is it a great example? No, I just used it as an example, meaning that, hey, it's already starting to take place, people. People within the conscious community are now starting to do this. That's all that that's the only reason I used him as an example. Am I saying it is for every individual man and woman? No. It's some man that can't deal with the ability to, that does not have the ability to deal with more than one woman. Oh. And he may be satisfied with just that one. And if that's what he chooses to do, hey.
But let me say this. Somebody says, what's wrong with monogamy? Nothing's wrong with monogamy. Who says something's wrong with monogamy? We got to get away from that. I didn't say nothing was wrong with monogamy. I didn't say nothing was wrong with being single. You're whole, period. Whether you're single, married, or even if you got more than one wife, you still are whole. There's nothing. Everybody's saying. I'm not saying that. Nobody's saying that. I think it doesn't have to be a tit for tat. I say this, you say the opposite. Taisha been on my ass, boy, since I went live. Damn, I'm gonna lose me a couple of subscribers behind this one, boy. I tell you. Go ahead.
Listen, we're not saying that this is for everybody. If you choose to practice monogamy, hey, more power to you. But what I am saying is that if a man is out here being conniving, backstabbing, and lying and deceiving, and he's juggling more than one woman, I would much rather that man sit down and tell a woman, hey, I want more than one woman, and hey, this is how it's laying, and you have an option to do that.
See, that's right there. What you just said actually warrants being open, and so it really would cut down on that, because we're creating an environment where people can actually can tell what they really want, lay it out, and which will be beneficial for the women, because you can either get on, get down, or lay down. Those women that got with R. Kelly knew way back in the 90s. They knew what time it was in the 90s.
Bill, let me interject. Taisha, how do you figure that he's not being loyal? If that man is being loyal and putting a roof over your head, paying all your bills, providing for your needs, putting food in your stomach, and being there to fill every need that you have, how is he not being loyal to you? That's my question.
Because she has and ain't trying to be funny, she has the mentality of what we have. And I'm not going after this, she just has the mentality of our society today, and that's all she's ever seen. So she's never seen, or we objectively, guys, you have to understand something. The reason we got this video as believers, I know everybody's not a Christian, not trying to make you be a Christian, but the reason we have this review is because we take it and say, get away from everything that America has, in society in America in the 21st century has showed us about society and culture, and let's just read it objectively and get the principles out of it, not the culture from back then, but the principles. We understand the culture in the context of who was speaking and when and where and the history and all that, but also we take the principles This is the principle we're talking about. That's all we're talking about, a principle that
Exactly.
I think would benefit. Right now, the black community is in such shambles right now. 72%, 77%, almost 80% of our kids born out of wedlock. I think it's safe to say we probably ain't gonna recover from that. This is probably the only option we have to be complete. You women don't like it, but this is the only option. I'm saying if you're gonna do it, choose. Then it will force women to say, okay, I'm gonna be more stringent. I'm not just if I'm a wife up, if I'm gonna be somebody's wife, then I'm gonna make sure that he's a producer. So it would incentivize women to choose instead of a dude that say, I'm gonna just get this guy some coochie. No, nigga, you got to come with some tangibles. What you coming with?
Right. Would you rather be played by a man that is selling dope, in and out of jail, bad attitude, uneducated, and knowing that he's screwing other women? Or would you rather have a man that says, hey, I make $200,000 a year. I want you to be my second wife. You come and live with me. I pay all the bills. I provide for you. If you want to go to school, I'll pay for you to go to school. I'm going to take care of your kids, even though they may not be my kids, but I want you to be my second wife. And I'm going to give you everything that a husband should give a wife. I just have an extra wife.
And Taisha, I just looked that up. It's a little bit, it's like 52 to 48. I get it. It's 52% women. We know it's 1-to-1. I just looked it up. So we're trying to be fair. We're not trying to come. Everybody ain't with that. And today, where we are today, that's like right now, if you're trying to get black people to say, hey, Christmas coming up, you can only spend your money with black people. Now, everybody knows that will benefit black people wholeheartedly. Now, how many black people do you think, how hard would it be, how practical would it be to have black people spend their Christmas dollars with black retailers? That shit would damn near be impossible. So what we're talking about is don't look at shit as it is today. Look at what would be the most optimal situation, because the way I think you're going to save the family is by doing something like this. You're not going to say that you're going to save it the way it is now. And I don't even think nothing wrong with what I'm saying. It's not like I'm saying something bad, like we need to destroy the family. I'm saying, no, let's save it by doing it this way. Not because, you got people that look at polygamy like they look at homosexuality, which nothing could be further from the truth. And
the hurtful part behind all this, the hurtful thing is that people would reject it just because of their selfishness. I don't want to share nothing. But our teaching is to love others and esteem others higher than ourselves.
Dude, everybody don't think like that. I'm not even, you going there. I'm not going there. Not that I'm
going there. But my second point is, it's happening anyway. It is happening. It is literally going on. Right now, I guarantee you most men right now and women that's on this line can think of at least one man that is right now sleeping around and lying about it.
Yeah.
And being deceitful about it.
Have you not done it before? Because I have.
I have.
It ain't a dude I know that ain't never lied to a woman and had 2 and 3 women and you hitting all 3 of them and playing with them. And yeah, this is a rite of passage for black men in America. I'm not going to be able to get through all these things. Typing away.
Think about the chaos that it causes. Think about the chaos that it caused. Now, the woman that he cheated on, that he got a child with, now he cheated on her. Now she got a bad attitude. She's scorned. She don't want to let him see his child. Now she withholding him from seeing the child. Or you got 2 women that can't stand each other because of his lying and conniving and backstabbing ways.
Well, let me say this, guys. I didn't say what I'm going to do about my personal. I never talk about my personal life, just so you know. Guys, folks asking me questions about my business. What I talk about, who I'm with, what I'm doing. I don't talk about that on YouTube. I'm talking about, we are talking about objectively for what would be what's the best situation, because I'm going to tell you something right now. It's hell to find one black woman in America that even thinks, that you think you could even marry. Not I'm not saying black women ain't shit. I'm just saying it's hard to find a good woman that you want to marry anyway. 2 or 3. It's not that I haven't met some, but I'm just telling you, it's difficult. What conversations I've had with, I ain't finna come on the internet and tell people my personal business. I don't do shit like that. My life is my life. I'm not gonna tell y'all my personal business.
Hey, did you see what Simply Living just said? If a husband tells the woman that, he may get a sweet potato that night after she checks the life insurance policy.
Hey, Simple Living, damn comedian, man.
Man, that is priceless.
Damn comedian, but you know,
Simply Living, boy, you
wants us to do a flat Earth video. Do we want to go there?
No.
You might get my channel deleted for real, bro. You trying to get me
for real, bro?
Hey, I'll do a live video, go out to some water. We get some lasers and some lights and get the measuring. Shit just ain't gonna add up. We ain't gonna go there. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Right. We ain't even going there. And guys, this is just a discussion. We're not saying that this is for every individual or whether we practice it or whether we don't. We're just bringing the subject out, something to spark interest, because you guys are all over the place, and you may spark interest with this video may spark interest with you, and you may continue this conversation with someone else that may spark interest, and then at least it becomes a discussion within the community of Black people of our society, and maybe it may be a valuable option.
Hold on. I'm gonna put this question up here for you, Franchise. This is a good one. I like this. She said, "How can you call us selfish?" He says women are selfish, but women says he's selfish for wanting polygamy. So how do we decide who's right? Let me explain something to you, sister. Let me get it first, if you don't mind, Franchise. Let me say this. There are two things that we have to. First of all, if you're gonna be pro-Black, you're gonna have to make up a decision. Like, you're gonna have to. And that decision, first one you're gonna have to make is: are you a feminist? Are you for gender neutral stuff? Do you believe what the white liberals in the small hats are telling us to believe in, or do you believe in masculinity and men leading and building? Are men builders, or are men like, just some little 50-50 situation? It depends on how you think. Now, me, I have a traditional worldview. I believe that men are builders. I believe we should provide. It's certain things I think we're supposed to bring to the equation. And so with me, when I bring that, and it's certain things women bring to the equation. There are gender roles. There are certain things roles that we both have in a relationship. And so a man doing certain things, if a man is going to build and provide and protect and do all that, there's a certain hierarchy. Now, when you want to switch it and go in the other direction and have one woman with 4 husbands, what you are describing is a matriarch. Because Abraham is a patriarch. So you're describing Jezebel. I'm not trying to say it like in a bad way, but that's exactly what you're describing as matriarchal situation. That's why her husband, I think when they read about Jezebel, what's Jezebel? First or second Samuel, something like that. Yeah. You go in there and read about Jezebel, you'll see what I'm talking about and how she was. And even when the guy was prophesying to him, he was like, man, you make your woman wrong. So I'm sorry, it's a certain way things are structured. Women don't like that. The Bible says that the man is the head of the household. Nicole, I'm not saying you can't have gender roles in monogamy. Who said that? Why? I'm saying they're the same. You have gender roles in both. I'm not saying that, but what you're saying is I'm selfish. Is it selfish for a man to pay all the bills for 4 women? And be there and raise and minister to all his children? That's selfish. What's selfish is to stay single. I'll tell you what's selfish. I'm gonna stay single. I'm gonna still get the coaching. I'm gonna give you a baby and send your ass $150 a month while you struggle to pay daycare. You can't get no man because now you're a baby mama. Don't nobody want you. Which is more selfish? You tell me. Go ahead, French. Yeah, the where this comes from is the man is the head. The Bible clearly gives direction as to how a family is structured. The man is the head. He is submissive unto God. The woman should be submissive unto the husband as the husband is submissive unto God. See, and if he is submissive, if a man is submissive, then that's on you. You like, wait a minute, no, I ain't, And I respect that. If a woman come to me, if I'm up here telling her, look, babe, we finna have a threesome with you. Man, nope. I wouldn't be mad at her. because I get where she's coming from. That's against my spiritual. I don't believe that, and I have to respect that. I don't want no woman to follow me if I ain't got my game tight.
The woman is only supposed to follow the man as he is following Christ. If he's outside of Christ's will, then guess what? You need that woman to be able to pull that man, because they minister to each other. And see, this is the key to understanding the roles. When the number one, before any of this is even thought about, a man first must understand his role as a man and be living up to that role. Meaning, in today's culture, a man's role is, I'm going to go get a job. I'm going to pay these bills. I'm going to keep a roof over your head. I'm going to keep food in your stomach. I'm going to provide health care for you. And I'm going to keep you clothed and looking nice. And I'm going to keep you in guidance unto God. And that's
if you say, hey, baby, I want to go to medical school. Okay, baby, I'm going to pay for it. You ain't got no
bingo.
Baby, I want to learn. I want to be a nurse. Baby, I want to start my own beauty salon. Baby, I want to start a car lot. Baby, I want to flip houses. Baby, I want to fill in the blank. When you read the Proverbs 31 woman, she had certain things that she did on the side. She sold land. If you really model it out all the way, a lot of stuff that these sisters complain about, they getting in their own way with this feminism stuff. Feminism is hurting you way more than it's helping you.
Because you think it helps you. You got to be able to play that role as a man. And if a man is not doing that, and so in the process of what I'm saying is, a man first off learns how to be a man. He lives up to that. Then he's able to maintain and sustain and provide for himself, and he has wealth, he has things saved up, and then he says, hey, I'm lonely, I need someone with me. Okay, he brings that person on, he maintains and sustains that, and if it's not enough for him sexually, then yes, part of it, some of this has to do with sex, because men have our sexual desires. A man loves to have sex. He wants to be fruitful. He wants to multiply. Bottom line.
Well, hold on. We talked about this yesterday. We were saying that a woman in a house with two other women is going to be in that gym way more than a woman in the house by herself.
What you mean?
A woman that's in the gym, a woman in a house with two other women. If I marry a woman and one woman is not, she don't give a shit about her body, she don't take care of herself. Another woman does. You get where I'm going. Now, when I marry you, obviously, so it's gonna probably, first of all, you got time and energy. You can get to the gym if you want to. Because a lot of women say I ain't got time to get to the gym. Well, not only that, you're gonna also be motivated to be in the gym.
It's beneficial to the woman.
Yeah, because you're competing. You don't have to compete when you got one woman. You really don't.
No.
So I'm not saying that. Listen, trust me when I tell you that every woman I have been with and the person I'm with not, it ain't just 100%. Oh yeah, let's do this. Hell no, it ain't like that. She's not like you, but she damn sure ain't in agreement. This is something but I do think this is something we need to talk about, because I think in the future there are going to be more and more people saying this.
Oh yeah, because it's already happening. Let's be realistic. It's okay to talk. It's wrong to talk about polygyny and a man having more than one wife. But it's all right for Cardi B to get up and talk about how she popped that pussy and how she going around throwing her booty all over the place. It's wrong to talk about that, but it's all right for young MA to get up and talk about how she's having sex with other women and how she wants to be a man. That's wrong, right? I mean, that's acceptable, right? It's wrong.
I think when it comes to right and wrong, I don't think this is wrong. I don't see nothing.
I don't either, but what I'm saying is
it's wrong. Go ahead.
You get a lot of blowback at it, but it's all right for a woman to say I'm a boss bitch and get up and go, oh, I got a nigga over here and I got a nigga over there.
Just think of your tax code though. Think about what you could do with this. Think about taxes, earned income tax credit. Think about how much money they would have to pay to that household. You have a household getting $200,000 for taxes. I mean, just think about it. If you're really smart, you could really. The government had to stop this, because if they didn't stop this, what was going to happen was they would make it. People would be rich as hell. The wealth that you could generate, the money you could save in a house where You spend $300,000. I don't give a damn. You can take $400,000 and build a big ass house. You can, and then you pay that damn house off. Y'all, you got 4 or 5 people working. You got kids, teenagers, everybody working. Pay that shit off. Man, that house paid off. You got cars. You got all types of shit. You'll be financially way ahead financially. Life insurance. A lot of that shit would change. Franchise. He done muted. Let's see what y'all talking about.
They got a TV show of a man with multiple wives called Sister Wives. This is a TV show, guys. It's already happening.
I don't
listen,
look, guys. I'm all for.
You got a family right now I just watched a video a couple days ago of a white family that was in Arkansas. That the man had 3 wives, and they've been married for 10 years. They just built their own house. They didn't go buy a construction company or have a construction company come and do it. The husband knew how to do it, and he taught the other children.
Hold on. Look at what Simple Living just said. She said, we women are making good money, sending ourselves to school and buying our own homes. We want good, solid men that want to be with one woman. We're not looking for dirty Dick Rodney. See, first of all, that statement is so loaded that it doesn't make sense. You're assuming certain things on something you've never seen. Number one. Number two, you telling me. I'm gonna tell you something about these strong, independent women that I really find, because I've dated a lot of women. Not only that. If you ask the strong, independent woman, look, do you want to work your little job or run your own business? Yeah, I do, but I got to work. I got bills to pay. You want to run your own beauty salon. You want to run your own fill-in-the-blank business, whatever the hell it is. You can do that when you got a man that's taking care of you. A woman that don't want to be taken, I got my own house. I got my own. When you keep that shit and keep your little vibrator and do your own thing. But if you want to have, if you want to have that, I don't think that's something that warrants.
Women. I'm gonna go far as to say this, and I know I'm gonna be backlash for this. Women that think like that typically want to be men. They want to control. They want to run. They don't want a man. They want a simp. They want a man that's gonna do what they say do. And typically, I believe this. If I was to do a statistical study on it and find evidence, I would believe those are the women that's lonely. That don't no man want to deal with, because guess what? You're dealing with
Miss J. The Bible tells in the New Testament told you not to go out and enslave people. So, I mean, when you talk about slavery as biblical, yeah, it existed, but it told people not to go out and enslave somebody. It told masters to let the people free after 7 years, called a year of Jubilee, in the 8th year. There's a lot of things you could just, but see, we it's the context to it. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you told not to go enslave people, but they did it anyway, didn't it? So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't
think this. It's just an option, guys. I'm not saying it's for everybody. It's just a discussion.
I tell you what, the black family, I don't see it going back to where it was in the 40s. I tell you that.
I see the black family benefiting from this. It cuts out the desire to be pimps and players and thugs, and it brings back the desire to want to be a man.
Accountable. Exactly.
It just does, because I think you have men in the house now that are teaching, and you don't have little girls out here twerking, and the mama's talking about get it, girl. Because look, go on YouTube or Facebook and see how many women are out here allowing this horrible teachings to go on, whereas a man gonna step in and say, hey.
Naima, I don't see nothing wrong with that, what you just said, sister. I don't see nothing wrong with that. A brother if you say, hey man, you need to be a 6-figure nigga for you to start thinking like that. I'll be cool with that. You need to be able to pay for this and pay for that. I have no problem with that. And if you want to work, you can. If you want to stay home, you can. I'm on the clock right now. Well, I ain't trying to be funny. I'm on the clock right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm comfortable. Like I could probably take care of that if I wanted to. I wouldn't right now, but if I wanted to, I could. I would think that I would have to say the bare minimum for a man to live like this or to even desire this, he needs to be at least, like I said, at least $150,000 a year.
at bare minimum.
I would say 100, depending in the South. It ain't that hard. I mean, depending on
Yeah, depending on where you're at.
But you ain't gonna be doing this at no $45,000. Now you ain't try that, but you're gonna be struggle city, and the woman gonna be miserable, and we don't want it. I want you to. Well, I could pay the bills, and both of y'all now. Well, you have 2 grown women sitting in the house. No, you go 2 or 3. Somebody gonna want to get a job. Somebody gonna want to do something. If you bring that money in the house, you can do what you want to do with it. But if we trying to build something together, we would probably build together. But I'll pay the bill. It's how everybody's structure is everybody's structure. I ain't telling you how to run your financial situation. Marriage is what we all agree on.
But I think it solves a lot of problems and it alleviates a lot. It's just an option. If you are, I feel like this, you know, and the reason we bring this out is because
she said her neighbor husband had 3 wives, provide each one of them their own house separately. He financially supports all of them. I mean, I don't have no problem with that. I was saying under the same house, but if you got it like that, it's whatever. Like I say, it's whatever people think, agree on.
Right, but here's where I'm going with this. The reason that we having this discussion, number one, is because number one and first and foremost, the reason is because we've been taught throughout our culture and our belief system that polygyny is a sin. It is wrong. It is not wrong. That's just the forefront. Secondly, I believe Sub would agree with me on this, is to spark discussion and for people to understand the freedoms that they truly have, that you've been miseducated. That's all we're saying, is that you have that right. And thirdly, I would rather a brother that is a top earner, rather than him being a liar and a deceiver, to be honest and tell and come forward to women and say, hey, I believe that I'm within my rights biblically to have more than one wife, and I choose to practice that. And be honest and give a woman the option to make her own choice to whether or not she wants to enter into that.
Well, that's respectable, number one. But secondly, I think where you can benefit from this is, sisters, it's brothers out here who are married that you would love to have, but you can't because there's somebody else does. So you like, shut, I can't have that. And that's cool. I understand that. I respect that. And if you're a good woman, that's how you think about it. I get it. So because it sounds, we've been taught that. So that energy's there too. I ain't messing with no married man. I get it. It's how you look at it. And what I'm saying is true. But in a society where that's not the case, because we were talking about conjecture here, guys. We live in America. I live in the same country y'all live in. Trust me. I see the same stuff y'all do. So I understand why y'all don't agree with this, because I see the same stuff y'all do. I think the same. I was raised on the same culture you. I'm black. I'm from Alabama. I see it. What I'm telling you is, objectively speaking, away from American, just away from cultures and society, if I had to build a society myself in a vacuum, I would build it like this, where you can have hope.
No, you're correct.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's the thing. So I didn't want to be on here all day, man. I knew I was going to probably stir up a lot of emotional response from some of the sisters. Shout out, y'all was actually good people. Y'all wasn't attacking people and calling people. Y'all actually made some points. So, this is a good discussion. I actually like stuff like this where people can come on here and say stuff that's not, you old weak ass bitch nigga. Da, da, da. You ain't none of that. It's just, respectable. Nobody insulted nobody. Everybody just put their 2 cents in. I like stuff like this, where we can have a real discussion without, name calling and stuff like that. So, what did that brother say?
He said when white women start doing it, black women will follow. I agree with that to a certain degree. I'm not saying 100%, but to a certain degree, I agree.
We saw that with lesbianism. We see it because black women. It was hell to see a black woman in a club kissing another black woman. That rarely happened. You know what I'm saying? Rarely was you ever gonna see a black woman kissing another black woman. In the 90s, that's all you saw on television with white women. 2 white women kissing. Now it ain't nothing to see 2 black girls kissing. It's no big deal no more. And if you chose this, you actually think your decisions are made on your own. You don't know and understand that Sigmund Freud's nephew and how they program you with television and stuff. You don't understand.
And that's the thing that reason why I didn't mind speaking on this subject is because I just wanted to be people to understand their rights, to walk within them. That's it. I'm not saying it's for every individual.
Oh, hold on. The ratio of 1-to-1 is close to 1-to-1. If all of, let's look at America. If every black man got a wife, it'll be a few million black women out here with no man. So what you gonna do with that? And you want a black man because you're least likely to date out of any other race. Most black women aren't married right now. And when we try to talk about why brothers ain't getting married, this probably got a lot to do with it too. I guarantee.
Let me say this.
Let me get this point out. If most brothers could do this, I think a lot more brothers would get married. They wouldn't be so afraid of it.
Women, what I'm about to say, I know y'all gonna be like, Sub, don't you ever bring that man back on this channel. But I got to say it. What is the benefit of a man getting married?
They heard that before.
I'm just being honest. What's the reason? Because majority of the black women out here got kids, so I got to deal with another man's child. I got to spend my money to take care of you and somebody else. And then I got to deal with your nasty attitudes for most of the reason. And if things don't go your way, I got to worry about you taking me to court, child support. And if we married, depending on what state we in, I still got to provide for you until you get another husband. There's just no benefit for a man to desire to want to be married. Zero. Why? What do I got to look forward to? And then let's be honest.
Tiff, I agree with you. I agree with you, Tiff. It ain't hurt my feelings. I agree with you. There's a lot of broke niggas out here talking like I ain't trying to be funny. I ain't saying I'm broke. I'm all right, but I ain't trying to talk about them. I'm just talking about objectively. What we're not even talking about this. It's like the family's been destroyed and we watching it be destroyed. And when we come with a solution, this is what we get. We get met with friction. But I'm telling you, this is probably the only way you really can. Because the good providers, the good productive men that are going to love their children and raise their children and be there for their children are the men that you probably want to get with. And he might have one more with him. So you might have another one, but that guy, at least he's going to be a good dad. And this would incentivize men to be better fathers. So now that they can have
let me put this on the table. How many women that sat in the same room, played cards, spades, dominoes, Monopoly, had wine, had drinks, laughing and geeking, and they husband sleeping with their friend.
Whoa. Hold on.
They
just asked what's the benefit of having your kids? Shit, 20 years of child support.
Right.
What the hell? I can't believe she asked that.
That's why women out here going out sleeping with, that's why these women on Instagram hoping they bag a superstar so they can get pregnant and get $20,000.
I ain't trying to be funny. I make decent money. Trust me, I've had women try to get my ass in life and shit.
Listen, let me break this down. The majority of I ain't gonna say the majority, but there is a good number of black women right now that are superstars that were hoes. And I'm gonna be called what's her name? Amber Rose. They gold diggers.
Yeah.
What's Kanye's wife name?
I mean, get a baby by LeBron James and come holler at me and tell me.
Right.
Well, what if 50 said have a baby by me and be a millionaire?
Right.
With this legal system, there's a lot of benefits to a woman having a man's child.
That's why men don't want to have kids. That's why I waited till I was 45 years old to have my first child, because I didn't want to get caught up in that system.
Yep.
Let's be realistic and honest about it.
I ain't have my son until I was 41. So I mean, I didn't have him because I knew at 27, 28, I would have caught hell trying to flip houses and do concerts and do the stuff I did. I'm still trying to play ball and stuff if I would have did that. So I mean, you know. I mean,
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying this is the reality. It's just an option, guys. That's all that I'm saying. I'm not saying this for everybody, and please don't think that I'm a male chauvinist pig when I say a woman should be submissive and that she should play her role and that it's okay. All I'm saying is it's within his right. If a man has the ability to take on more than one wife and he is willing to do that, then he should be. And he know that sexually he can't sustain himself. Because in this culture, it's really hard to sustain yourself. Because when you go to the mall, I see pussy prints big as the goddamn.
Hold on. Let me. She said child support cannot raise a child. That's weak. Nobody's saying that child support can raise a child, but you got women that'll say, "Hey, this nigga make $80,000. He worked for the railroad. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get knocked up and get me a $1,800 check every month from this nigga, and that's gonna pay my rent. I got a baby by this nigga, and I can afford to take the child and pay for daycare, and I'm gonna put him at $150 a week daycare and live a comfortable lifestyle, and my bills paying everything because this nigga make good money." I know women that's wait, women like that. And then they'll turn around and talk about that strong independent. Why did we have to seek the conversation? I don't like having these conversations, but that's the truth.
But wait, I gotta add on to that. Not only that, you have women that go out here and plot on the man that makes $80,000 a year to get pregnant by him, and then go get a bum, and then have him around the child, and don't want to let the man see his child, and hold him hostage. This is everyday life. Just go through the hood and just sit back. I do it. There's sometimes I drive to the middle of the hood, sit there and just watch. Because it's utterly amazing the ignorance and lack of education that's in our culture. And and our culture continues to be dumbified because we keep listening to the dumb music and we watch television shows like Atlanta Housewives.
No. I'm not bitter. I love black women. I've made 1,000 videos telling how much I love black women. I'm not
but a black woman.
But no, it's not that. I'm not saying. We're talking about the screwed up things that are going on in our community. And in order to talk about it, we have to bring it out front. Like we talking about brothers that don't. I'm talking when y'all said a man needs to make X amount of dollars for you to think like that. I agree. Somebody said a second ago, said something, and I was like, you know what? I agree. Yours truly, I think you probably on my channel because I'm not bitter towards black women. Because there are a lot of bitter black men that hate black women because they didn't get to sleep with certain types. So they didn't get to.
I love them. I don't want nothing but a dark skin.
Two brothers that love black women, dark, black, light skin, whatever, any range of color. But at the same time,
as long as they black, I don't care. But for my preference, I like the dark skin because they look so beautiful.
Yeah, so I mean, I get it. Don't take it like we trying to go down this road of bashing black women. It's just that there are some things that a woman can get from having a man's child. This is something that's thousands of years old. And it has not gone away. In fact, our justice system has it set up that way.
And not only that,
you have a baby by a man that don't got a job. You know how much government programs you can get, Section 8 welfare, food stamps. So much stuff you can get just by having a baby, period. Without even make a.
Not only that, if a woman go out here and have a thug, that get a dummy, that don't know how to maintain itself, that had a job at some point, that had a job, that paid into the system at some point in his life, if that dummy go out and get killed, she gets survivor benefits for the child until the child turns 18 years old from the government.
One guy said, you guys have to stop trying to hold women accountable. You guys are being the devil. You guys are being divisive. You guys are the worst type of men they are. So I get what you're saying. No. I think he's being facetious. I think he's just saying, I think now Snuggles might be a female. I don't know. I'm not being divisive. I'm just saying that I think, I don't even see how this is being divisive. This is talking about saying this is being community minded. If I ask somebody right now, how do you fix the black family? Crickets. When you talk about 77% of our kids born out of wedlock, when you talk about most of our women are single and not married, most of our men don't want to get married.
Won't never get married.
But there are men that you would want to marry. I've seen women, ain't trying to be funny, being a guy who makes good money and being in a relationship. I've seen women say stuff to my woman about how they wish they had somebody like me or that. Women, if you've heard women say that, I wish I had somebody like so-and-so.
I get it all the time.
He tell you, he do this, he do that. That's what women want. They just, and ain't trying to be funny, probably 2 or 3 of them, I'm like, they would probably be, as soon as I said, hey, come on, they'll be, oh, I'm coming. That's how they are. So these women, y'all out here like this, and some of y'all still sleep with the nigga on the side. Not you women, of course not. Nobody on this chat or watching this video does this. But there are women who tell their friends that, and then they meet that nigga at the hotel tonight.
I just said it. How many women sat around the room giggling with their friends, playing with their husband, having a good time, drinking wine, and years down the line they find out their friend been sleeping with their husband?
That's it. It happens a lot. And I think what happens is, I think what this would do is force his ass not to sleep, because he's getting away with it. Nigga, let me tell you something. How many, okay, give me a percentage then, since we want to, let's move somewhere in the conversation. Give me a percentage of brothers that cheat. Somebody take a stab at it, because we don't have no real statistical data. I'm going to say probably over half.
I go far and say 70%.
I say about 70, let's say 70%. So he's stabbing somebody anyway. It's either you get what I'm saying? You either get down or lay down. Because it's going down. 80, Nicole's saying 80. Okay. So 4 out of 5 men are cheating. And let's say if we did this would make at least. I'm gonna tell you something about me. I like sex, I love coochie, love the smell of it, love the feel of it, everything. I can't look. I ain't got time. I'm trying to run business. I'm trying to work. I ain't got time. Me, once I get past 2 to 3 women, 3 women is a lot of work. Okay, a lot of work to be in a relationship, and then you still trying to build and have a life and be a real man as a producer. You ain't got time for more than 2 or 3 women. Any nigga out here talking about he got 10, 15 women is lying. He lying. Now he might be single and going on dates with them, but if you really seriously in relationships with y'all sharing intimacy with 5, that's some work. That's some work to be able to have to get an erection and satisfy 5 and 10, 6, 7 with 10 women. That's a lot of sex. If you're doing it right, if you're doing it an hour and 40, you really getting it in like you're supposed to. You ain't stop. Let's try to stop lying. Let's stop with these. No, this nigga's out here hitting 100 women at the same night. He ain't. Nigga ain't hit that. No. If you really, he probably really getting it to 3 of them. And let's be honest. Some of these brothers out here, let's be honest, tricking. Let's call it for what it is. Some of these brothers out here spending money, paying for booty, in, out the door. Stop selling yourself as a trick and being a side woman and getting a couple dollars when you can find a man that's already like that says, hey, baby, I'm going to give you everything I got. Mm-hmm. You want a house? Okay. You got to think about it. A guy like, let's use a rich, ultra rich guy, celebrity athlete guy. He can easily drop you in your own house in Atlanta, get you a condo downtown. He can get you everything you want. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, now if you don't see him but once every 2 months, that's different. But But if you get to see this guy every day or every, you know what I'm saying? Then I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. I'm not the one that makes the arrangement. That's not my business to say what it should be like. I'm just saying that there are so many different ways this conversation could go. We could go on and on with this one. This could be a 4-hour hangout. But I just wanted to come on here. Edward Anderson in the house. What's up, Ed? Like I said, I haven't been out here long enough to really talk about this that much. But you ever met one honorable dude you want to fuck? Truth is, you are still damn. He going at somebody. Okay, him and Taisha going at it. Edward don't be fucking around, boy. Anyway, but it's just an option. We're not saying that this is end all to be all and this the way it should be. It's just an option. My thing is, if you're a man, you lying, deceiving, lying, and you want more than one woman, be a man. Be upfront. You're within your rights. Don't feel guilty that you want more than one wife, but understand your role. And you got to provide. It's going to be a hard, lonely ass life right now in America if you say that. But just understand that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're going to have a hard time, but you're going to mess around. The law average say you ask 1 out of 10, somebody going to say yeah. So
yeah, you will. You will be able to get, actually in America, if you straight out with that, you probably do stand a chance of being able to eat, because that's what they doing anyway. You got women that when they see a man with a red ring, they at him. They want him. They trying to they flirting with him. They want out with my woman. I've seen women do shit because they say, okay, this man has shown that he will pay bills. He show he know how to treat a woman. He holding the door for her. He taking her out to eat. He must be a good man. I want to see what's up. That's how chicks is. You go back in that same restaurant the next day to eat lunch. She all in your face.
But see, it'll leave it. I'm saying for men, live within your rights. Tell the truth, and I guarantee you, once you get to that second one, you done. 9 times out of 10. You might want a third, but truthfully, trying to divide your time, your money between 2 women and raising a family, you too tired to do any dang on thing else.
That's all I'm saying. I just don't think it would be even feasible for a dude to work that hard and satisfy that many women. Now, of course, yours truly, you're going to disagree. That's cool. Maybe, you know. But like I say, a man trying to satisfy more than one woman is hell anyway. I'm talking about dudes I know that got side chicks. That's some work.
Right. I know some dudes. That's what I'm saying. Listen, and women, stop selling yourself short. This is why I say it's an option. Stop selling yourself short and dealing with the half-ass man. Oh, well, at least he do this. At least he do that. Stop selling yourself short and just say, you know what, bro? Go on. I'd rather be with the man that got another woman.
Tip said we need to get our money up. We both agree. We're in agreement about getting your money up. I don't have no problem with it. I have no problem with telling women to get their money up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, telling brothers to get their money up before they start thinking like that. I agree. We didn't talk about $30,000 out here broke, talking about some damn 3 and 4 wives. No,
I feel like this, brother. If you got it, you should have a house. It should be paid for, and you should be able to take on that responsibility. And not only that, it actually pulls people about the ghetto, because I listen. I don't care what you tell me. Like I said earlier, I go sit in the hood. Man, I see some dimes as far as physical appearance. They may not be dimes in mentality or the abilities as a woman, but I see some beautiful women in the hood. And I could see a man that go to the hood that make $200,000 a year, that get a dime, that says, you know what? I want you to go to school. I want you to educate yourself. I want you to stop carrying yourself like this. I want you to be a woman and teach that woman some things that she may be lacking in, and pulling women up out the hood. And now you got top earners, which I believe intelligence.
You lost your bars, brother. Sound like you lost your bars. You know, I think he made a good point. I think that's a good thing too. You could probably work and pay her way through medical school, her ass get out and be a doctor. Shit, I mean, everybody balling out. So I mean, it's a way. It's a myriad of ways to do it. I'm gonna end this video, man. I got shit to do. Y'all have a good one. Y'all in that motherfucker going at it, boy. Y'all getting it in. But y'all have a good day. This is just something I don't hear people talking about this. This is just something different that I thought I would kind of add into the conversation. I'm gonna end the hangout because I don't know what's up with Franchise. I think he done lost his bars or something. But I'm about to end this video, man. I'm finna go take a bath because I do not smell good because I've been running on that treadmill earlier. So got my back healed again. I'm back good. It's Black Friday. I got a couple of things I got to do. Plus I got some work to do for work. So when I come back Monday, I'll be, doing what I got to do. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good weekend. Mad respect to my subscribers. Shout out to Simple Living. Shout out to Edward Anderson. Shout out to Turf. Shout out to all y'all, man. Tiff XYZ, Taisha Hobbs. None but respect, sister. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got nothing bad to say about none of y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? We just out here being, shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Neon Eyes. Because I know a lot of sisters. I appreciate women's feedback without being disrespectful and cussing each other out. That's not what we out here to do. You know what I'm saying? So y'all have a good one. Shout out to Naima. Y'all be blessed. Thank you.